What's up, guys? Iceman here. So in this video I'm going to show you guys some of my silver and gold. See, the thing that's told about owning silver and gold is that you feel like you're in World of Warcraft and shit, or Diablo. And you know, you can also get yourself some palladium, is that how you say it? Let me know in the comments below. Or platinum. And then you kind of feel like you're in EverQuest. I mean, that's supposed to be real world currency, dog. They've been using silver and gold and shit for millennia, it's true. So, I mean, it seems that having some on hand might not be a bad fucking idea. Let me know in the comments below if you dogs are with me on that. But it's hard to say. You know, there are some folks out there who say that there's a bunch of silver and gold and all sorts of relics and shit stored away. You know what I'm saying? They say that there's a bunch of rich folk who have, like, I don't know, trillions of pounds of this shit. And if that's the case, say that there is a bunch of hidden bullion or whatnot, bunch of jewelry and shit, bunch of silver and gold. Say there's a bunch of that hidden shit somewhere under the ground or whatever. And say that it becomes found out of and extracted and dispersed amongst nations or whatnot. Just theoretical, right? You guys, like, let's enter a fantasy realm for a moment here. But of course it might not be fantasy, you know, all this shit. I mean, as far as I see it, it's possible. I just like to always think about all of the alternate directions that things could go, you know what I'm saying? I don't like to rule shit out. So what if there were that sort of situation that were upheaved and these currencies or whatnot were dispersed amongst various nations and their economies, and their money was then backed by it? It seems to me that that would devalue the gold and silver that we all have on hand. I mean, it seems like it certainly would, but I don't know. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about that. But of course, the more likely scenario is that that's not going to happen. And that, I don't know, they might mine more of this shit, but is the mining of silver and gold going to exponentially increase? It seems unlikely, doesn't it? And they say that, see, here's a piece of gold right here. That's 1 ounce right there. It's that woman with the eagle on it. The 1 ounce gold eagle. They say that gold throughout history, or in terms of its mining ratio, it's about 8 times as rare as silver, I believe. So it seems to me that the price of silver should in theory be about 1/8 the price of gold, but it's far beyond that. It's like 1/100th or some shit. I don't know, it's far beyond that, okay? 1/80th or something. So some folks say that silver's heading up and that the intrinsic value of this, you know, it should get closer to gold. But then again, there's a lot of folks buying silver right now. So that in itself is going to drive up the price. It's going to make for more scarcity. So I thought to myself, ICEBOY, maybe you should consider buying just a little bit of gold instead. So I got a few more things coming, and I might show some of them off in a future video. But let me know what your thoughts are on that in terms of the gold to silver ratio. And what are the futures of these things going to look like? Say 5 years. You know, what do you think an ounce of gold, the spot price of this is going to be in 5 years? And what do you think the spot price of a a 1 ounce silver round is going to be in 5 years? Let me know in the comments below. Now, I know some of you dogs are putting some of your money, if you want to call it that, paper currency or fiat or whatever, you're putting some of that into a bunch of crypto, right? ICEBOY hasn't delved into that at all, although I'm considering. I know that Bitcoin, what's interesting about Bitcoin is that, to my understanding, there were only 21 million Bitcoins made and that ever intended to be in existence. So what you see now are people owning shares of a Bitcoin. And it seems to me that that could easily be sustainable because there's actually a limitation, a cap. Whereas with the US dollar, for example, there's no fucking cap, because there are trillions of them printed on a yearly basis now, just continually devaluing itself, and there's no fucking cap. And in addition to that, it's not backed by anything of intrinsic value, right? It's backed just by it's backed by air and shit. Something to do with the Federal Reserve and private banks and accruing interest and shit like that. But yeah, what really needs to be known is that they're adding a bunch of that into the economy. And like I said, it's like Diablo. And this Bitcoin thing is like Diablo as well. Imagine there were 5 million people right now playing PD2. Wouldn't that be toad as fuck? There's probably only like 20,000 in reality. But let's say there were 5 million toads playing in PD2, like this season, all right, season 2. And say that only a certain amount of IST runes were even able to drop. Say that they were going to allow only 21 million IST runes to ever fucking drop. You know, us toads are going to start collecting them. Like I said, if there were, what did I say, 5 million? 5 million PD2 players, I'll say there's 5 million, 5, 10, 15, 20. So each player in theory could have about 4 IST runes to his name if they were all to equally search out and find them, which they wouldn't, of course, but just in theory, that's 4 fucking IST runes total. And we all know that we need more than 4 IST runes. So all of a sudden, a little bit into the ladder, them IST runes are going to be valuable as fuck. But obviously there's intrinsic value with the IST runes. You can make yourself all sorts of things, right? You can make yourself chains of honor. You can make yourself Dal Umber Ist, chains of honor. What the fuck else is it good for? A lot of the rune word items in PD2 have been fucked up the ass. But Infinity is still great, and there's an IST rune in Infinity. So consider that, and just imagine how valuable those IST runes would be, and a lot of them would be put into rune words, and some of those players would just stop playing, and they'd just sit there and be lost in oblivion, bro. They'd be lost in the void and shit. So yeah, just imagine how valuable them IST runes would be. And in the same way, I think I could relate Bitcoin to such a concept, except for the matter that it really doesn't have intrinsic value. Right? You can't take a Bitcoin and put it in a pull and turn that fucking thing into infinity where it has a conviction aura. But nonetheless, it's not bound to some shit, right? Isn't that the thing about Bitcoin? It's not bound to the US market, it's not bound to the US dollar, it's not bound to any nation's currency. So I mean, it sounds interesting, you know. So I might get just a little tiny bit of that, just in case, because if it's at 60,000 or whatever right now, $60,000 for one single Bitcoin, and like I said, there's only 21 million in existence, and that ever will be. So it seems to me that that shit could go way up potentially, but of course, potentially it might not. It might wither out, go down, and be forgotten. Some folks say it could turn to 0 overnight, which is true. and you'll lose your ass on whatever the fuck you put into it. So there's a lot of things to consider, dog. That's another thing, right? That Doge coin or whatnot, isn't that shit up like 11,000% or something since within the past year, or since earlier this year, or whenever that was? It went up a total amount. So, but I don't believe that coin has a cap. See, I think that's really important. That Doge coin, or whatever you call it, doesn't have a cap. So more of those could be added to the market. Just like how the US government continues to print the dollar with no fucking cap. See, so the same thing could happen. So that's just a slight concern, but to be honest with you, dogs, ICEBOY don't know much about this shit. All right, I'm just kind of brainstorming up, and I'm curious what you guys have to say. So let me know in the comments below. And here's another thing with this silver and gold I'm about to show you. I bought some of it, you know what I'm saying? But here's the thing, you look at the charts for the past 100-year history, let's say, of silver, you're gonna see the little graph, the little arrow going all over the place. And right now, it's pretty high. I believe the highest it's ever been was about $60, $70 an ounce. And now, the spot price is about $27 an ounce. But of course, the premium is about $4 or $5 beyond that, if you actually want to get the physical piece in hand. So those two aren't really representative entirely of one another, the spot price and the in-hand price. So, but yeah, I was a little concerned. I bought some more of this shit, not much, but a little bit, and I'm cautious, you know what I'm saying? But I might have been a bit less cautious when I decided to get more. But gold, of course, it's not going up at the same rate that silver is. A concern that I have is that silver's used in a lot of electronics and shit. So it seems to me that if anything, in the future, silver will end up having the edge over gold. Not to say it's going to be more valuable than gold, because that's unlikely, right? Because it's far more abundant in terms of its mining capableness and so forth, right? So, but I think if anything, it's going to come closer to gold when it comes to its value. That's just in theory, because I think in today's times, it's used in more devices, so it actually has more of a practical use than gold, but I could be wrong. And I believe that gold is used on some circuit boards and other shit. But I don't know, let me know in the comments below. Isn't this shit used in batteries as well? In lithium-ion batteries or something like that? Let me know in the comments below. But yeah, I mean, I'd hate to see this shit go down after buying some, because those graphs freaked me out a little bit. You know, even with gold with the 100-year, it's not as like drastic as silver, but it's still pretty crazy. All right, it's still pretty cray-cray. So there was a time when gold was in like early 2000, I think it got down to as low as around $300 an ounce. However, 13, 14, 15 years later, it went up to about $1,600 an ounce. So 3, 6, 9, 12, gained like 5 times its value in about 15 years. But then it went down a little bit again. And now, of course, now it went up. You know, so now it's like the spot price is like $1,800, which I don't know if it's greatest. I don't know if that's the peak. It might have been higher than that before. But that's kind of my concern. Is right now, if you do buy it, you're buying it when people want it. You know, you're buying it when people are scared, when they're afraid of the market and shit, when they're afraid of their US dollar that's not backed by shit. So they want to have some precious metals in hand. So you're gonna pay a fucking premium if you want to be one of those who have it in hand. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of concerning, man. You know, is this shit gonna be like, is this gonna go down to like $1,100 in the next 5 years? It seems highly unlikely, especially with how many US dollars have been added into the, not just the US economy, but the rest of the world, right? I think 40%, or one of you in the comments said 20% of all US dollars in existence were printed in the last year. I heard numbers up to 40%. And if that's the case, it seems certain that this is going to be worth a hell of a lot more US dollars within 5 years. But what if some fucked up shit goes on? You know, you never really know, man. There might be some fucked up shit that goes on. Something could easily occur, I think, that would cause it to go way, way up, but then way, way down. You know what I'm saying? Some folks would say that what goes up must come down, but there could be some fucked up shit that goes on. Like there are various nations discussing backing their currency by precious metals again. I don't think the U.S. in its current leadership is discussing that, but you never know what's gonna fucking happen, man, within the next handful of years or whatever. So let me know what you dogs think about that. But yeah, I'll show you some of this, all right? So ICEBOY has been riding his rogue bike a little bit. I got my Trek bike right there. Let me show you guys. See that? There's the Trek bike. Been riding that some. Here's the rogue bike. I got my fat ass on that today. Went on it for about 30 minutes. It was kind of pathetic. I was going slow, but whatever. See, just there's some gold and silver and shit. These you pay a high premium. These are actually 1/1000th of an ounce of gold, but they actually have a face value of $1 US. See? So I thought, well, you can't go that wrong buying that, because at least it has $1 in terms of its face value. So worst comes to worst, gold absolutely plummets and it's worth like... What's up guys, ICEBOY here. My card just got full, so I'm gonna have to put this video together now. But nonetheless, what I was saying, these are about 1/1000th of an ounce in gold, but they have $1 face value in terms of its US dollar value. All right, so worst case scenario, you could use this and it'll count for as $1. These are about $3.50-60 a piece right now. So you're paying about, you're in that sense, you're giving $3.50 to have $1 US. But of course, the value in this is the fact that it has 1/1000th of an ounce of gold, which still doesn't equate, you know, to $3.74 or whatever it is. But it brings it closer to that for one. But in addition, these are great for barter, is what they say, because they're very small amounts of gold. It's hard to get 1/1000th of an ounce of gold, and this is one way to do it. So if you're in a market, say shit hits the fan, or say the dollar just sucks, everyone's going to know that there's value in gold still, as always. So you could use these to trade for shit. You know what I'm saying? And they kind of retain that value. Like, things aren't, you know, fucked right now, some would argue anyway. So in that case, you know, you could still go somewhere and someone, you know, would be willing to pay $3.70 for this, roughly. I mean, they're just cool little items and they have gold in them, you know what I'm saying? So these have like a 70% premium is what you pay on those. Then I have some of this other shit. I like this old stuff. Just this old silver and shit. You know what I'm saying? And this is a 5 ounce. It's a big old 5 ounce coin. So that's toad as fuck. Yeah. Yeah, look at that. How shiny and shit that is. And there's a Vamian on there. See that? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Look at that shit. Alright, let me show you another. Hell yeah. 1 ounce, man. 1 ounce of fine gold is what they call it. Alright? Hell yeah. Fuck. So, if you guys will like this damn video, and let me know what you guys think is a good thing to consider investing in right now. You know, do you dogs like the crypto thing, or do you like the gold and the silver, or do you just like real shit? Like, check this out. I bought this knife. It's a K-bar. This is a slug of a knife, man. feel like Rambo-ing shit with this. But I actually have another one that I like more. It's not as big. That's a big one. But like the damn video. Become a patron if you want. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. I am the ICEBOY. Peace be with you. And whoever becomes a new patron of mine after this video will be blessed with many wives.